Welcome to Community Corner. My name is DeWitt Taylor, and my two darling friends are.
My name is Aaron County Castle.
Hello everyone, I'm Ryan Nicholas Gray.
Today our guest is Willie Brooks, the executive producer of the Oakland County Community Mental Health Authority. He is a new friend to us, and his role is helping each of us to showcase our abilities. And it is important for us to have him join us today to share information about the work of this agency and the goal to assist those with developmental disabilities, mental illness, and substance issues. We really welcome him.
Thank you.
Willie, welcome to the community. Welcome to our show, my good man.
Thank you,
Tell
sir.
us a little bit about yourself, growing up, and your family.
Well, I am one of 5 children, so we always had a lot of excitement in the house. I was fortunate to have very good parents that always watched over me and made sure I got a pretty good education and tried to do the right thing as much as possible, but you know, we always find a way to get ourselves in a little trouble.
Little? Oh boy. Aaron?
I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Tell us about your interests and hobbies.
Hobbies, interests. Well, I have a few. I'm a big sports fan. Love all of the Detroit teams, so I watch a lot of football, basketball, baseball. Also, years ago, I used to be a DJ.
Okay.
Yeah, years ago. But now I just mainly watch sports. And I guess probably my favorite hobby is playing golf.
Okay. How come you gave up being a DJ?
Why did I give up being a DJ?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to eat.
Oh, you want to eat?
Yes.
Okay.
And I wasn't making enough money DJing. It was just something fun to do while I was in college.
Okay.
Don't tempt me with food, please.
Willie, so did you seek a college degree? If so, in what studies and what focus did you study in school?
Well, I actually spent a lot of time in school. I couldn't really figure out what I wanted to do.
Why?
So I initially went to school for data processing and worked as a data processor in the healthcare field. Then I went back to school. I wanted to actually be a counselor.
Counselor?
Yeah, so I took some classes in psychology, got a degree in psychology. Then I realized a lot of people had problems with finances, so I took some classes in finance, got a degree in finance, and then got a degree in economics, wound up being a financial counselor, and then worked with just corporations in their finance.
Thank you.
What types of careers have you had for all these years?
What type of careers?
Yeah.
I've been in the human services field for 35 years. Seems like a long time. Either working with healthcare or mental health care or designing different healthcare systems. So all my career, I've mainly been in the healthcare field.
What is your current work title in the agency?
Right now, I am the Executive Director, CEO of Oakland County Community Mental Health Authority. I've only been there in that role for about 6 months. Prior to that, I was just 6 months. Prior to that, I was the Chief Financial Officer at Oakland County Community Mental Health Authority.
Pretty cool.
In your personal circle of friends and acquaintances, is there anyone with a developmental disability?
Well, you know, the funny thing is, there's always been individuals that I knew with developmental disabilities, but I think what's different now is I have more of awareness. For example, sometimes I'll give lectures at different colleges, and before we would have people come in with developmental disabilities, and I did not notice as much as I do now. Now I'm more aware, I'm more in tune to individuals with developmental disabilities, and through all of my training and experience, it's much easier for me to communicate and to talk and to share time with individuals. But it took a lot of education and awareness to actually get me to that level, something that now I truly appreciate.
Do you have anyone close to you with a mental illness?
Yes, I do. I have
Explain.
family members with mental illness, friends, members in church, again, members in school. As I said before, they've always been in my life, but now the awareness level is much higher. And I think many people could probably say that same thing, that you're always familiar with it, but your awareness level is much higher now.
What have you done in the past to engage and support folks with needs?
Wow, my whole life now is about engaging people with needs. One of the things that I try and do is try and stay in contact with political leaders, with business leaders, those individuals who can make large contributions to what we do. And another thing that I've done to help increase my awareness is that I tried to visit as many different group homes, as many different service providers, as many different individuals as I can. Each time I visit a different clubhouse or different people, I learn a little bit more. So I try to share that knowledge with individuals who can make a difference in what we're trying to do.
Have you had ever done any volunteer work in this area?
Yes, I've done a lot of volunteer work. When I was training as a counselor, I would volunteer at women's shelters, women and children's shelters. I do a lot of volunteer work with churches. So I spend a lot of time volunteering my time, which is fun. I enjoy it.
You know, I volunteer at a place of Great Sense of Hope. I volunteer in Pontiac. I volunteer there.
Do you see yourself working in this field?
What do I enjoy about working in this field?
Yes.
What I enjoy about working in this field is it's not every day that you have a job in which you can see the benefits of what you do. Many people go to jobs that unfortunately that they dislike each day. But to be able to go to a job in which you feel as though you can actually make a difference and that you can actually help and enhance the lives of individuals is very rewarding.
What about your job? Is it special to you?
Yes, it's very funny because I never expected to be in this position, but now that I am in it, I'm very fortunate for the opportunity to actually perform in this position. It seems like everything that has occurred in my work life has led me to this point. This job's given me an opportunity to use all of my skills, from data processing, from counseling, from finance to management. There's no skill that is left undone in this position. Everything that you have, you can actually use.
Cool. So, Willie, tell me something. Tell us about the various aspects of your job.
The best aspects of it?
The best ones.
The best aspects of my job is actually getting out and then and understanding people. You know, I've always been a person that has tried to help individuals. So being able to go out to take time with individuals is very rewarding. In addition, in this job, you have the opportunity to work with individuals who care so much about other people. It's very hard to find someone in this field who does not want to do something good for people, or who has a very bad attitude. So it's really nice working with individuals who are so positive and motivated and encouraged in what they do.
Wow. That's very, very touching. Very touching.
Does your job bring you in direct contact with those you serve, and why?
I would say almost every day. We hire people that we serve. I meet with people that we serve. I visit people that we serve. The people that we serve are an integral part of our lives. You have a much better understanding when you're actually involved with the process. So my job requires me to be involved.
What is the current budget situation with OCC CMHA?
Right now, the budget is always a matter of concern. We were very fortunate that our budget was not reduced any further in this current year, fiscal year 15, which started in October. It could have been a lot worse. So we're very thankful for that. We're also thankful for some of the support that we've been receiving from many of the legislators and many of the people that are working in the state. And we're also very fortunate that the state as a whole is beginning to come together to understand the financial needs. We also have to be very cautious that we use tax dollars as wisely as possible. So we want to make sure that we're being efficient, that as many dollars as possible are going to the people that we serve, and that the people are proud of how their tax dollars are being used to enhance the lives of individuals.
All right.
Thank you. You know, Willie, it's really quite distressing that you guys every year have a golf outing every year, but you guys canceled it this year. I was so looking forward to be outing with you guys this year, but it happens. Nothing you can do, nothing. What method? What method did you use to determine the budget amounts for MORC, CLS, and Easter seals?
Well, basically what we did was we looked at how our budget was changed by the state.
Okay.
And each of those different agencies received a portion of the budget. So we looked at how our budget was cut by the state, and whenever possible, we tried to move those same amounts over to the different agencies. We also extensively use a lot of reserve funds to try and smooth the process or to give providers time to make adjustments for the cuts. We roughly spent $33 million in fiscal year 14 and 15, making up the deficit in the budget. However, those reserve funds are quickly vanishing, and eventually we will have to only use the money that we actually receive in funding.
That's terrible. It really, it breaks my heart.
Yes.
It really does.
Thank you, Ryan. What is the budget ratio of overhead and staff versus monies going directly to those being served?
Well, right now, the state requires that at least 85% of all dollars go directly to the people that we serve. Our ratio is roughly at 90%. We're currently working to improve that ratio. Now, we do know we need some admin costs to make sure we have correct reporting and make sure a lot of guidelines are taken care of. and admin cost does help us. However, we want to make sure that admin cost is as low as possible and that it's being used as effectively as possible. And even though our rates are a lot lower as it relates to admin fee, we're still encouraged to look at our admin fee on a regular basis to look for ways that we can improve.
And tell us about the OCC MHA conferences that were canceled.
Yeah.
Yes, some of the conferences were canceled. What we had to do is we looked at our budget and we tried to maintain the conferences that we felt had the most impact on the individuals that we serve.
Okay.
And in other conferences, what we did, we basically just changed some of the structure so that we could still have them, but just modify the agenda. What makes it really difficult is that when we put demands on our providers and our staff, in which we're actually reducing staff, we reduced our staff by roughly 8 or 9%, and many of our providers also reduced their staff and made cuts. So whenever you're reducing people and affecting lives, you want to make sure that the dollars that you do spend are being used as wisely as possible. So we had to take a careful look at those conferences and make those hard decisions as relates to allowing people to go, changing services, and keeping conferences. Those decisions are difficult, but those decisions are necessary to make sure that the people we serve will receive as much as possible.
For some reason, there's been a lot of budget cuts lately.
The mental health budgets?
No, when I say budget cuts, I'm talking about the budget cuts for everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So when we look at
It's really sad when that happens.
And
Yes,
I
it
have
is.
it back. I will help you. Ryan?
Has the authority needed to cancel any committees?
No, we have not canceled committees. The committees help us with awareness. They help us with outreach in the community. Now, we might make minor adjustments as it relates to some of the budgets and some of the things that we do, but we're fortunate that many of the committee members volunteer a lot of their time also. So the committees are so needed to bring that awareness out and to get people involved. We don't need less people involved. We need more people involved.
Do you think society provides enough help to those with various challenges?
Do we? I'm sorry.
Do you think society provides enough help to those with various challenges?
I think society is ready to provide help, but I think that society is not aware of the help that is required. Many people are not aware of all of the needs. I've been in the human services field for 35 years, but yet in the last 4 years, I've learned more about developmental disabilities and mental health that I've had in my entire career. So I believe that as we educate society more, that the natural tendency of individuals will be to help. So many people who have started and who were pioneers in this field are now gone, but we have to make sure that that torch is passed over so that other individuals can pick that torch up and participate.
What do you consider challenges for OCC MHA?
Challenges. My life is full of challenges. You know, they say that challenges are like opportunities. There's a lot of major challenges that are out there. I would say some of our major challenges is just, as I mentioned before, education and advocacy, making people aware of what's going on. Our budget. Our budget is a challenge. It's always a challenge. Of course, when you're using tax dollars, it will always be a challenge. uniting people to work together for a single cause is a challenge. And then another challenge is change itself. In the midst of everything that we're doing, people have a tendency to fight change, even when change is good, but because change is new. So getting organizations, getting individuals to accept and to embrace change for the better is a huge challenge. But if we do not change ourselves, change will come in and change us without our input. So we want to lead that change.
And true. That's very true.
Willie, so now, tell us about the 2015 Walk a Mile.
Yes, well, hopefully I'm looking forward to it again.
Me too,
Last year,
I love that thing. I love it.
we had
Me
a
too.
wonderful time. We had a good DJ there.
Oh, Dave is the best.
Yes, he is.
I was in Motown. I was.
So I'm looking forward again this year, come rain or shine.
That's right. So who do you consider a success at Income Authority? Who do you consider as a success?
Who do I
Orion?
What?
What are your dreams for your current job as you move ahead in this field?
What are my dreams and current job? Wow, my dream in my current job is to have adequate funding, not just for Oakland County, but adequate funding for the entire state. I'm not just an advocate for the individuals that I know or the people in my city. I am an advocate for all community mental health. And I believe that every county should have the ability to have adequate community mental health. And my dream is to wake up in the state of Michigan knowing that every county has adequate mental health care and can take care of their needs.
Well, before I close, who do you consider a success at the authority? Who is one person you consider to be the greatest success at the authority?
Wow, that is a hard question because we have so many individuals that I consider a success. We have a management team that is outstanding.
I know.
That makes my job so much easier. So many times people may see me getting credit, but in reality it's the management team that is doing the majority of the work. We have a host of people that we've brought in with different disabilities and mental illness who actually work for us, who do outstanding jobs each day. And you would have to consider them a major success. So we have individuals who have worked 10, 15, 20, 30 years in the field, who have dedicated their lives to mental health care. So that is probably the hardest question I've had today, is trying to name one when I'm surrounded by so many.
Well, shall we close, gentlemen?
I'll close soon.
Yes. Well, it has been from meeting you and learning about this vital county agency and the role and work to support those with challenges. Thank you for making our time in the demanding job a schedule to come out and be our guest. We know that the general public and when the perceptions are not always clear, as hosts of this show, we attempt to express our abilities, not our disabilities. Not labels. As Henry Scholes once said, labels don't label us.
Only
Because
on cans.
only on our cans. It's very important to learn that this is a full functioning place. And Willie Brooks, thank you for being our guest today. I'm Ryan Nicholas Gray.
Thanks for being our guest today. My name is Aaron Connor Castle.
I'm DeWitt, and you've been watching ONTV, CMHA, and YouTube.com.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Arrivederci.